And we are already into 2022. Can you believe that? So let's see what we got here. Let's share the screen and continue our look at Bible patterns in modern times as we have wrapped up 2021. So we can close that and continue on from here. So we'll do some review of some things we've discussed before, bringing us to some new events, courtesy of Jonathan Cahn's new book, The Avatar. March 29th of 2022, Disney Goes Woke will no longer say boys and girls within the park. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, stopped being said at the Disney parks, which they have recently gone back to. So good news ahead for that. But yeah, but that was the sign of the times. That was part of the state of the world at that point in time. The Supreme Court draft opinion got leaked on overturning Roe v. Wade. And just as the original Roe v. Wade had been leaked before it was announced, so too that came out. May 2nd of 2022. And on June 24th, the official ruling came out. The Dobbs decision, where Roe v. Wade was officially overturned by the Supreme Court. And you can go online, supremecourt.gov opinions, and you can pull up the actual document. All 213 pages of it, there for anyone's reading pleasure. So that was a great turning back the tide of the altars of Baal and the sacrifice and all that had been going on. And Supreme Court newest justice, Amy Coney Barrett, was the deciding vote in the majority there. Let's see, And this July 21st article I shared back at the time when we were going through this stuff. Noah Yuval Harari, I'm thinking however his name is pronounced, working with the World Economic Forum and all that stuff, was basically saying things. There's a quote from him here. Let's see. Let's see. Where was it? Humans are now hackable animals. The whole idea that humans have this soul or spirit, they have free will, and nobody knows what's happening inside me. So whatever I choose, whether in the election or whether in the supermarket, this is my free will, that's over. And so that was the direction they were going in, very obviously anti-God. September 15th of 2022, that's when Israel got, from the great state of Texas, some red heifers. And that caused some concern for some folks with the end time prophecies and all of that, and the establishment of the temple and sacrifices. So one step closer there. Thank you, Texas. So let's go here to this one. Wrapping up this look right here. New census data, key takeaways on divorce, marriage, and fertility in the U.S. So let's get some thoughts on this right here. So I mentioned Baal. Now the next one, Ishtar, sexual deviation and all those things. And so for Ishtar, her possession of American and Western culture only deepened. Through the internet, pornography was everywhere and accessible to nearly everyone, including children. Her war against family and the marital bond was so effective that by the mid-2020s, the US marriage rate had plummeted by more than 60% from where it had been half a century earlier. So more than 60% less folks getting married than 50 years prior. So I think they've actually got a graph of that. Yeah. So there's the drop in the marriage rate there. So a sign of those times. So any reactions or thoughts to these things that we lived through in 2022? I'm glad we got to the other side of some of this stuff. That is for sure. So that's it for that section on 2022. Stop that. Yeah, I got some just kind of short little snippets there. And now we'll spend a little more time